Wagwan YouTube family, welcome to my YouTube channel, Raw Consciousness, where the focus is on providing you guys with knowledge and wisdom to help with ensuring that you guys live an optimal lifestyle spiritually, mentally, and physically, right? My name is Rajay, and in today's video, we're going to be building on the last couple of videos, which initially had to do with discerning between whether you're, you know, living a life in accordance with spirit versus your ego. And then I went on from there to advocating on the practice of meditating as a means of being able to really tap into spirit, right? So I wanted to spend some time to go a bit deeper into that topic by actually going into how to go about meditation, because a lot of people actually tend to get, you know, I guess, get a bit caught up in the nuance of how to go about meditating and maybe not even being sure how they should approach it, personally for themselves. So I wanted to talk a bit about that to create some clarity so that you as an individual, you can, find what works for you with a bit more understanding about meditation, about the process. So yeah, I'm gonna spend some time diving into that. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you learned something from the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, I definitely encourage you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Drop a like, also comment on the videos. But yeah, so stay tuned and we'll dive deeper into the topic of meditation. All right, so let's get deep into it now. So what is meditation? It's it's been such an interesting process for me personally in terms of my relationship with meditation. I think I may have mentioned this in previous videos, but for me personally, I've used meditation as a tool to really cope with my external circumstances. That whenever I was facing, whether it is challenges, stress, or different events that kind of got me out of my element, I'd use meditation as a means of centering myself. Now, from a metaphysical standpoint, right, we're taught about two different forms of meditation. You have the affirmative meditation or the mystical meditation. And to kind of distinguish between the two, when you talk about affirmative meditation, it has to do with the form of meditation that is pertaining to really programming your subconscious mind, right? And I guess before I even go on, just to kind of break that down a bit, I think a lot of us are aware that we have a more conscious state of being, and beyond that, there is the subconscious state, right? So the conscious more so having to do with how we are on a day to day basis, meaning that like we're aware of how we're interacting with the external world through our senses, etc. And this is how really we navigate through our lives, being in a conscious state and being really aware of everything that's taking place around us, etc. Right? The subconscious more so has to do with the layer of our being that is beyond that state, that is more, it's more so like the memory bank for our habits or our various thought patterns that in essence dictates in some way, not necessarily dictates, but it it stores, it's like a memory bank pretty much that has our different habits and traits, etc., that the conscious mind has a relationship with, that it essentially feeds off of, right? So with meditating in the affirmative sense, what happens is that you're trying to reprogram those traits, those habits, those different means of how we interact with the external world to a means that is more favorable for us in how we relate to the external world. So to make that more straightforward, for example, let's say that we have a fear of something, for example, right? We have a fear of, I don't know, a fear of spider, or a fear of um, heights, or whatever it is. In order for you to overcome that, sometimes what will happen is that you'll have to kind of coach yourself into um, doing the act of, say, going close to a spider or going climbing something that is high or whatever the case is. And sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it takes less than it. Sometimes it takes a day, days, weeks, months, etc. For different, um, I guess, habits that we have or mindsets that we have, that are ingrained in our in that memory bank. It takes different length of reprogramming. So an affirmative meditation would involve using affirmations, for example, and using different repetitive thoughts to help us to align more with that thought to create a change in the way we um, interact or in our habits, etc. Right? I think that that should be, I guess, clear in a way, for that form of meditating. The other form of meditating um, can be deemed as I mentioned, mystical meditation. And the word mystical is used because it's going into a realm that is, I guess, in some respects, less understood by the general population, right? And so it's a bit mysterious, also because it has to do with um, going deeper within oneself. So the mystical form of meditation more so has to do with you as an individual, contacting or creating a means of contact with the divine that is within you, right? So what that means is going deeper within the center of your mind, to create, yeah, I guess contact is the best word that's coming to me. Create contact between yourself and the divine, and that allows for um, an expression of more of your higher self into your true purpose. That expression of what all that might entail, that will come to you into the conscious mind also, so that you within your external life can make manifest what that reality might look like. And it'll also come about in other means, but for everybody, their circumstances, their expression of that is unique to them. So for me, that expression will be different for me based on what my purpose is in this life. Similarly for you or anyone who's watching this video. So as I mentioned, two forms of meditation, from a metaphysical standpoint, the affirmative and the mystical. So I hope that makes sense, or brings up some clarity as to the general topic around meditation. But holistically, meditation is all about going within and utilizing different, let's say, means of going beyond the going beyond the conscious mind, into a deeper state, deeper thought, so that you can essentially, I guess, at the end of the day, create contact between yourself and the conscious state and the deeper sense of self, right? Um, and so, again, that whole process will look different for each person. And another thing is that people will use different means to facilitate the process, such as they might use breath breath work or breathing techniques. Some people might use mantras. You can use different things to kind of help facilitate that process or make it a bit easier for you to create that contact. Um, so yeah, I hope that creates some clarity as it pertains to what meditation is and entails. And in the next segment, I want to kind of discuss the benefits of, you know, meditating, so that you within yourself can understand, like, why would I even entertain the thought of meditating? Why would I even bother to even look to add this as a tool in, you know, I guess, in my box of practices for helping me cope with what is happening in my own personal world. So we'll go into that in the next segment, all right? Okay, so what are the benefits, or what are some benefits of meditating? I believe there are like so many, really so many benefits that probably haven't even been tested or even spoken of scientifically because of the depth of its significance. But in terms of the very common benefits of meditating, right? Like I mentioned, for myself, I use meditation as a means to cope during stressful time. Now, when I say cope, what it is I'm referring to is, let's say, for example, all right, how about we do this? Picture yourself in a state of harmony, right? Like you're naturally in a state of harmony, and whenever certain things happen that are stressful, that are, I guess, going against pretty much what you'd be expecting in your life, it kind of throws you off, and so emotionally, you might be, off centered a bit, right? In using meditation, it'll help you bring you back to that center. And so for me, when I talk about coping, that's what I mean. It's like it's a means of helping you to reestablish a sense of balance. Because when we're stressed, we're kind of out of sync with our natural state of harmony. So when we meditate, it allows us to find back that balance in our life, right? So people use it with, managing stress, managing anxiety. Um, People use it for, as I mentioned, reprogramming um, certain habits, certain mental traits that we might have that, it's not really beneficial for where you're at in your life. It's kind of like when you were a child, you did certain things, you had certain thoughts, and as you grow and you become an adult, you're realizing that certain thought patterns, certain mentalities, they aren't really serving you as you would want, and they're more so a hindrance in your life. So you use meditation as a means of um, reprogramming those patterns so that you can move beyond the phase that you're at, to elevate yourself from the mental state that you're at, or even emotionally, helping you dealing with emotional distress as well. And in the context of the more deeper side of things, it helps with allowing you to connect with your God mind, the God center, the divine self, the higher self. It allows you to create that passageway that allows for that expression. And um and separate from that, I think it's just like a very healthy process. It's a very healthy practice to have for mental health, or just general mental issues. Being mindful, being in the moment. It helps to keep you grounded, and these are different traits, as it were, that really help with keeping you centered throughout your day-to-day life. Because meditation has to be a practice that is not like, oh, periodical, or it's like once in a blue moon type of vibes. No, it's something that really you should do daily, because what it is that life is cyclical, and each day that you get up is the beginning of a new cycle. Day night, all it's all cyclical. So you have to practice meditation on a daily basis to recenter yourself daily, so that you're ensuring that the reality that you're trying to live within and create, it's being manifested through you staying true to yourself by being centered in yourself. Otherwise, what happens is that you get caught up into a lot of different things, whether it is your own worries, your own thoughts, the distractions in the world, through media, technology, all these different things. So meditation is a tool that allows you to, as I said, get back to center, so you can ensure that you're staying true to that path that you're supposed to be on. So, I think I mentioned in my previous video that how I try to practice meditation is that the first thing I try to do when I wake up is that I meditate, so that I bring myself to center upon waking up. And before going to bed or falling asleep, I meditate, so that before going into the dream state, I center myself, so that everything is grounded at the beginning of my day and at the end of my day. And as I mentioned, you don't necessarily have to have a rigorous schedule starting out or anything like that, but you just want to give yourself a taste of the practice, so that you can understand its benefits for yourself, and not necessarily just do something just because I'm saying you to do it or you hear somebody else say, but test it out for yourself. The proof is in the pudding, and only you can taste that pudding for yourself, right? Because my taste buds or my perspective will be different. So it is important that you spend the time to practice for yourself and see how beneficial it is for you, so you can tweak it how you might want to for yourself. So I hope that makes some sense, and I hope that entices you to want to practice it for yourself. But I definitely advocate that you guys take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however much time you can spare to actually meditating. All right. So I'm going to move forward into talking about how to meditate and how to approach meditation in the next segment, so that in having all this background information, it helps to, I guess, maybe clear the way to have a more smooth um, process, or a more, yeah, smooth practice for yourself, especially if you're just beginning. All right. Okay, so let's talk about how to meditate. Now, I've spoken to several people, and a lot of the times, the biggest issue that I see or I hear people come across is the fact that, I can't meditate because, you know, the thoughts keep popping up constantly in my mind, and I constantly get distracted, and you know, I don't know how to, overcome that, etc., etc. And I totally get it. That's going to naturally be the automatic thing that pops up, because it's the most immediate thing that takes place once you close your eyes and you start going internally, with your thoughts, with your awareness. And I want to encourage you not to worry. It's a part of the process. And the key thing that you want to bear in mind, or one of the key things that you want to bear in mind with meditation, is that, first of all, wherever you're placing your attention, that's where you're placing your energy, that's where you're placing your awareness, right? So you have to understand that you have to kind of let go of the need to control, whether it is your thoughts or the feelings that you're feeling within the moment, etc. Don't worry about all of that stuff. When you're approaching meditation, you are approaching meditation from a, a very open place, a very open state of being, um, physically, mentally, spiritually, etc. Because you have to open yourself up, and in some respects release yourself, or release the ego or the personality and all of that, in terms of what its expectations are and all these things, because it's no longer about that state of being, because you're going beyond that. And you have to also understand that who you are is, there are layers to who you are, and that conscious state, that ego personality state, is but one layer. So as you move beyond that, what you have to realize is that you're going to become an observer of um, the thoughts. You're not the thoughts, but you're an observer, and it's a state of awareness, right? So again, you start by letting go. And how you can initiate that process is, you begin to focus on breathing. You use, for example, breathing. As I said, you can use other things, but I'll use breathing as the example. You use breathing as a means of keeping your mind focused and centered on a certain thing. And breathing has been one of the main means by which you do that. So you inhale, you exhale, and you focus on that process until it becomes kind of hypnotic, yeah, somewhat of a hypnosis, in that you fall into this, again, as I said, like a more observer type of state, that you're observing your thoughts flow, and it's no longer an issue of whether there is thoughts or not, but your awareness is going beyond the thought. And it, there are different levels to meditations also, and it's a process that you have to be patient with. And even if after practicing it for months you still have challenges, it's okay. But you have to keep doing it to allow yourself to get used to the process, so you can get deeper and deeper and deeper into it, right? um, so again, in terms of the how to, you can focus on your breathing to help to center yourself. Again, don't worry about the need to control thoughts, or if there are thoughts popping up that are distracting, don't worry about that. Those will continue to happen and they will pass. eventually you begin, as you continue focusing on your breath, you begin moving beyond that awareness and take your attention from the thoughts to just more within the center of your mind. And a lot of people, what they will do in terms of their practice is that they'll sometimes focus on their third eye, which is at the center of your forehead between your brow, right? And that will become a place where internally you'll focus on that space, or in the middle of um your brain. You'll center your awareness in that place to go as deep within as you can. And as I said, it's a step-by-step process, and you don't have to feel like you have to rush that process, but just know that allow yourself the flexibility to ease into it. So you focus on your breathing, you take your awareness either to your third eye or to the center of your temples, and you just focus on being there, and you just stay within that place and allow it to take you where you are. I mean, sorry, wherever you'll go. Everyone will have their own unique experience, as I've mentioned. Meditation is a path, but the direction taken, it's quite diverse, and everyone has their own unique um, experience and interpretation of different things that might happen to them or things that they might feel in going deeper and deeper into self. So I have a couple meditation videos on my channel, so you can definitely check those out. I had recently posted a guided meditation, and you can start off there if you want, or I think I have a couple others, and use those as a means of guiding you into the practice. But again, I would highly advocate that if you're going on this spiritual journey and you're trying to get uh, deeper, a deeper understanding or a deeper connection with your higher self, with the God mind that is within, with the divine self that is within, that you implement meditation sooner than later. And especially too, because right now I think people as on a whole are more distracted than probably have been in, or maybe have ever been, through, you know, technology, social media, the the news, and all these different things that are kind of taking us away from self, taking us away from nature. So we kind of have to reclaim control of all of that by, again, recentering ourselves back into that connection, the divine connection that is within us, right? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Again, I encourage you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video to somebody who would be interested or you think would benefit from learning this information. Like the video. Um, it is truly my honor to be able to share with you guys this information, and I look forward to sharing more and more and expanding on various topics that I think would help you on your journey, that has helped me on my journey. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. You know, much, 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 much love and gratitude to everybody. Stay blessed, and stay tuned for the next video.